Welcome to the Petzl Technical Institute, located in Salt Lake City, Utah. Petzl is one of our Gear Experts core partners that focuses on safety and productivity for workers who apply their trade in at-height industries. Consisting of 15,000 square feet of state-of-the-art technical training space, the Petzl Training Institute is located in the heart of the Salt Lake Valley. It was designed specifically to meet the needs of highly specialized clientele and the industries that we and Petzl serve. To name a few of its features, it has over 5,000 square feet of structure for technical climbing, rescue, and rope access techniques, a 3-story vertical confined space training apparatus, 36-foot tall drop test structure, multiple classrooms capable of accommodating up to 135 people, and more. Plus, Petzl's North American headquarters was designed with their focus on reducing the environmental impact as much as possible as a LEED Platinum facility. This facility was built to the highest standards of sustainability, efficiency, innovation, design, and workplace experience. We sincerely appreciate the partnership that the GME Supply family of companies has with our friends at Petzl. We are America's premier outfitter of fall protection, safety equipment, and gear for at-height workers. We keep workers safe and productive on the job by offering customers timely service and expertise. Our Gear Experts are here to be an extension of your safety program, offering solutions and consulting in any way possible to make sure that your gear is where you need it, when you need it. One of the best ways we can do that is through our national network of distribution locations and training facilities. Everyone expects to be able to order something online or through our Gear Experts and get it in just a day or two, and that's what our national footprint allows us to do. Let's take a look at the time in transit for standard ground shipping from our various locations. Beginning with our headquarters centrally located in Columbia, Missouri, we're local to the heart of America. Our second location opened in Atlanta, Georgia in 2015 to service the East Coast and Southeastern U.S. In 2018, our location in the heart of Texas opened in Dallas, further establishing our southern presence. In 2020, we opened a location in Corona, California, where we have hosted live streams in the past. Late last year, we welcomed Custom Tool Supply to our family out of Denver, Colorado. As you can see, the majority of the U.S. population is within a 2-day ground shipping point from one of our locations, meaning you don't need to pay extra for expedited shipments. And look for our quick ship items, which ship the same day as long as you place the order by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Thanks for tuning in today, and enjoy the exclusive training session ahead. Hello and welcome again. This is session 2 of our exclusive live stream trainings. We're back again from the Petzl Technical Institute here in Salt Lake City. Today joining us is Michel Goulet from Petzl. You want to go ahead and give a quick introduction?
Yeah, hi Alex. Michel Goulet, I've been here for 18 years now. I'm the national sales manager for Petzl. I used to sell their gear back in my hometown of Ottawa many years ago before coming out to Utah and working. I'd like to commend GME for the great work you're doing in making sure your customers are well educated on our products and other products, and we're looking forward to this presentation.
Awesome. So today we're talking about personal protective equipment for at-height work. So yesterday we touched on some of the rescue side of things. Today we're going to be chatting about other equipment that may not be in the traditional wheelhouse of fall protection. So since we got a lot of stuff here, let's go ahead and jump into it. So when most people think of PPE on the job site for at-height work, they think harnesses, lanyards, ropes, rigging, that sort of thing. But there's a lot more that goes into it. So while all that's obviously really important, you have to consider the entire kit when you're working. So what are some PPE accessories and what types of things does Petzl have in their arsenal that you might want to consider for your at-height workers?
Sure. So obviously the head is a very delicate part of the body, and we see our solution there as a head protection system, not only for impact for drop tools or that sort of thing, but also for being able to mount face shields, being able to mount lighting and the hearing protection, that sort of thing. The first thing I wanted to kind of have a look at is eye protection. Super important, always, whenever I've been on the job site, I'm always thinking, I should have my eye protection, and I reach for it and it's not around. So now I just have to think about flipping the shield down from the helmet, and this is a polycarbonate eye protection shield, really good for high impact of particulate coming towards you, or if you're hammering on a bolt on a tower and a piece of galvanized steel comes towards you, that'll go a long way into protecting your eyes. And you always have to protect your eyes on the ground. I can just imagine up on a tower 200 feet, you're going to get into a serious problem if you can't see on your way down. So we have the half face shields and we have the full face shields as well. These are used mainly for people going into breaker panels where there could be a arc flash situation there. Your girlfriend's going to like you if you wear one of these, and you keep your face really safe. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
And those are what kind of ratings do those have as far as?
Well, those are rated under eye protection and face protection. It's a Z87.1 under ANSI. So a really important piece of gear before you leave the ground. We have other products that are really important. Obviously, protective handwear. Climbing those ladders, I can just imagine cutting your hand open with a piece of little galvanized that wasn't properly sanded down or whatever. So gloves are really important. I actually helped with the design of these and to put a carabiner hole in there, and essentially, just a really good protective handwear there. We also have grillons. A grillon is a device. When we sell to the military, we sell them a piece of product. They say, well, how many functions does this piece of product have? Because I've only got a limited space in my kit and limited amount of weight, and I need to be able to use a particular product for a lot of different purposes. A tower climber, people working at height, that sort of thing, a little bit of the same thing. You want to make sure that your product can do more than one thing. Obviously, people know the grillon as being a great travel restraint and positioning lanyard. It can also help you in a rescue situation where you can create a pulley system out of it. You can use it as an improved ANSI anchorage lanyard, and we don't approve of this, but some people have used it as a suspension trauma strap as well, and there's no reason why you can't do that. So this one's a little particular, and we launched this one a couple of years ago, maybe up to 3 years ago, and that has a really important sheath on it. It's really abrasion-resistant sheath. That's a high tenacity polyethylene fibers on there, and your lanyard is just going to last a lot longer, and you don't have to worry about having that protective sleeve over the side of the rope like that as well.
Yeah. Well, and, real quickly, you mentioned all the different uses for the grillon, and in telecom, it's almost a standard item at this point, but I'm going to tease for tomorrow. We're going to be talking more about some tips and tricks for different gear on the job, so tune in tomorrow and learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely great product. And little things that you can carry on your harness is a roll clip like this, which is a carabiner and a pulley in one device, and a little T-block that you can actually that acts as a rope grab. So sometimes you got to get yourself out of trouble, either lifting equipment or lifting your partner. If you have an ID, and you can combine these two things with that and be able to perform a rescue with a 3-to-1 mechanical advantage. So nice little piece of gear to have. And finally, we don't sell these, but little compact first aid kits. The tree care industry does a really good job at doing this. We design harnesses where the compact first aid kit fits right in the back of the harness, and I think the tower industry should consider doing this as well, and they should promote technicians going up towers with a small little compact first aid kit just within reach, so that if they open up their hand, get their hand open, they can address their concerns right away.
Right, yeah, obviously we've got the trauma kit in the truck on the ground, but if you are bleeding out up top, you want to be able to at least wrap that up, and
Right.
having a few small bandages is a lot better than some electrical tape around your thumb. So that's a good point. So let's move on to the next topic. So while all of that gear makes a ton of sense for many industries, another thing to consider is compatibility across all of your PPE. So what are some of Petzl's most popular options and accessories that are all compatible within the Petzl line and with other manufacturers
Other brands
as well?
yeah. We have these ease. This is an ease hook connector as well as an MGO connector. MGO actually stands for Mousqueton de grande ouverture. So that's kind of a sophisticated way of saying connector with a large opening. But what we have in addition to these connectors is we have a gated captive eye on here, so you can actually modify just for the grillon, for instance. You can either switch these out, and obviously we don't recommend this connector for a side D-ring, but we do this one. So sometimes if you're using your grillon in a two-rope configuration or a doubled configuration, you'll be using this connector on there. If you're using your grillon single strand mode and connecting directly to the tower, you'll put this one on. What's nice about these as well is these are fairly expensive devices, so if you have them on a lanyard and you damage your lanyard, you can throw away your lanyard, but you get to keep these and put them on your new one. So a good way to stay economical. This one here opens to almost 4.5 inch connection point, so really nice for that. We have other things that we've launched just more recently. This is a steel anchor strap that can be used in a vertical basket or essentially a choker configuration. And even in the choker configuration, this has a 5,000-pound minimum breaking strength, so it does meet the ANSI as well as the CSA requirement there. So great products. We also have these little keepers that you can put on connectors. This is called a captive. This is called a string, and this is called a tanga. And these are all little devices that don't look like much, but I'm sure when we all took that first course, in how to use carabiners and stuff, the instructor told us you got to load the carabiner along its major axis. So these are all little devices that promote essentially limit people tampering with your gear as well. Mm-hmm. And thirdly, if your lanyard is inside a captive eye like that, it also limits the possibility of accidental disengagement. So some of the other products that are great to have are carry bags. I know you sell a whole bunch of different ones here. We have them in 3 sizes with cord locks at the top. This extra large one can expand, and when you're in position, you'll be able to reach in and out. Really nice for that. And they have tool
ton of loops
carriers on the side. Obviously, tethering has become a really important. It's always been an important issue, but it seems that a lot of people promote that now too, and recently since the standard have changed. Carry tools are great devices for putting on your harness. I think we might have a video of that. We've changed these a little bit. We put a protection over the gate, but they fit on all of our harnesses. They may fit on other harnesses as well. They're essentially designed for carrying ice tools when you're ice climbing. When you're ice climbing, you're hanging on with one hand, and you want to be able to work with one hand and take that ice screw and start screwing it into the ice. Same thing for people working at height, construction industry. Sometimes they may be hanging on with one hand. They want to grab a tool with one hand as well. So these curved interfaces here essentially really let you grab that tool. Remember though, 10 pounds and about 30 pounds.
Yep.
These aren't life safety devices, so remember never to use them as those types of things.
Sure, yeah. Perfect, awesome. Okay, and we talked a little bit about helmets earlier, but when you're talking about PPE, there's been a shift from traditional hard hats to climbing style helmets. Mm-hmm. And Petzl has a full line of different climbing style helmets. So can you walk us through the differences between what a traditional hard hat is and what features and benefits there are to climbing helmets.
Right, right. Well, a climbing helmet is really has really got some differences with your normal hard hat. The first one is an interface here with which will allow good use of hearing protection or communication devices. We'll see it in this one here, where you know your muffs aren't being pushed down by the helmet itself. You know, people used to use our Ekron helmet, but it was a straight line across there. So everybody, you know, people using chainsaws or cement cutters, that sort of thing, you're way above 95 decibels, you have to have hearing protection. So that interface is really important there so that you don't get your earmuffs pushed down. Another really important feature of these is the chin strap, of course. Super important to have a good 3-point or 4-point chin straps on a helmet, because in the event of a misstep or a fall, you know, there could be a first and secondary impact, right? You're falling, you hit something, helmet gets popped off before you're going to hit something else or hit the ground. So super important to have chin straps. These are interchangeable. If they get too smelly or you want to change them out for a longer chin strap, totally changeable as well.
Another thing on chin straps too is, even if you don't take a fall but your helmet falls off and you may be in the middle of something, you don't want to stop, and you may not be wearing head protection for 10 minutes, and who knows what can happen in that bit of time.
Exactly. Another design feature of a work at height helmet is really a short brim. And the reason we introduced that, again, about 25 years ago, is that when you're working at height, you're always having to keep your eyes kind of somewhat above you, you know, kind of looking up ahead of you. So if you do this all day and you have a brim, you're going to have to tilt your head back. And after a 10-hour shift, your neck is really hurting. But the biggest important reason is that we want people to raise their eyes. We don't want them to deviate their head, because now whatever's coming down is going to hit them right in the face. So it's nice to be able to work without brims, and that's one of the big differences with regards to that. Obviously, adjustability, comfort, all strong points with these helmets. We have a proprietary kind of centering. It's called a center fit, and essentially these two little dials that you're seeing on your screen now really help center the head in the helmet. So that creates a couple of really nice benefits. You're really balancing the helmet when it's on your head, and essentially you've got protection both front and back, as opposed to cranking a knob at the back and pushing the helmet, pushing your head up front in the helmet. So
that makes sense.
Interesting things there.
So how about the differences between the various lines of helmets? So you've got, you know, the Vertex and the Stratos. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Right. So we do have two lines of helmets that we sell within the work at height industry. The Vertex has a pretty heavy-duty shell on it. It's ABS plastic, and of course, it's the shell that actually deflects to absorb energy. So that's important in the construction of that helmet. It's also puncture resistant, right? It won't puncture and touch your head when you're going through all the testing, the Z89 tests from ANSI, and that's a suspension system. So you get good air circulation, and but it's a little bit heavier than the Strato. The Strato is a helmet that depends on polystyrene foam on the inside to actually deflect or absorb the energy. So if you do get hit, you know, you're only going to get a certain amount of transmission of force there to your head and neck area. So this helmet, we can put more comfort elements into it, but a little less ventilated sometimes, because it's not a suspension system. Having said that, both of these helmets come in a Type C. They're class 1 Type C helmets. We do have the Class E helmets as well. They can have ventilation like this. That protects you against electrical hazards, and really nice to offer these in high-vis colors like these, so you can be seen around moving equipment, as well as a number of other colors, so you can match your corporate colors as well.
Sure. Yeah. And I see there are a few other accessories on these. Do you want to run through just some of the add-ons that you can put on your helmets?
Yeah, a nape,
Kind of a sun
textile
shield,
like that is good for keeping stuff out of your back if you're doing some cutting or whatever. Really nice, and it protects you against the sun as well. Obviously, these snap-on and snap-off visors. We also have them in a mesh. And obviously, all of our helmets all have these clips on them, so that you can wear a headlamp with them, and they have the holes on the side as well that are great receptors for communication equipment or hearing protection. Our helmets all fit Peltor and 3M hearing protection there. So.
Okay, well, you touched on headlamps, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of Petzl's offering for headlamps. So continuing on, obviously, the head protection side, Petzl's well known for their headlamps. Whether you're working through the night to avoid the heat of summer or in a confined space where you can't get a work lamp in there or something like that, they're a pinch in a lot of situations. So what are some innovations that Petzl has put into their headlamps, and what are the benefits of those innovations?
Right, so Petzl's been making headlamps for 50 years, and we've really evolved this hands-free concept of having lighting, not having to hold your headlamp or your mag light in your mouth or things like that. So we've taken that concept of hands-free lighting to really great heights. So the first thing you need to know about our headlamps is that they have a multitude of mounting and wearing capabilities. You can just wear it on your head with a headband. You can put it around your neck. You can put it on the ground, and it disconnects from the helmet. You can clip it onto our helmets. Our helmets are adapted with connection points there, where you can just clip it on there. Of course, you can put it on your helmet with headbands, but we also have a bunch of different adapters here that can actually stick onto your helmet. Very, very strong adhesive mounting brackets here, so that if you are wearing a shield, you're going to be able to position that headlamp a little higher, so there's no interference between the two products. So a couple of nice things about our headlamps. We make some that are ultra compact, and they can work on either AAA batteries, or of course we all want to be environmentally sensitive, so our core battery is kind of extraordinary. We've shrunk it down to a really small package there, that without any adapters or anything, that just replaces the 3 AAA batteries in there. And essentially, you're getting about the life of 900 AAA batteries with one core battery like this. So this can be charged on a USB port, and great little environmentally friendly. Yeah, it's a lot of copper tops. So you can see that this one here, I've mounted it on a sticker, and that can stick right onto your helmet. So nice to have your helmet balanced as well. If you put heavy stuff on the front of your helmet, that's why the wheels, and you can really adjust your helmet so that it's nice and balanced. We do have a couple of really nice proprietary headlamps that I'll talk about in a minute, but our headlamps are pretty much the water tightness of our headlamps. All our headlamps can be worn running or walking in the rain or snow. We have higher waterproofness classification of our headlamps, all the way to putting them in a meter of water for 30 minutes, and they still work after that. So of course there's a price difference. It's not easy to make a headlamp both dust and water resistant. We'll talk about that when we address these headlamps a little bit. We have a couple of proprietary functions to our headlamps, which, like I said before, it really brings the concept of hands-free lighting to a higher level. So this is a Swift reactive lighting headlamp. So what this does is it has a light meter on it, not unlike a camera that we're in front of here, and it senses the amount of ambient light that's around, and if you set it on that setting, it will adjust to the light demand that is required. So if you're looking at your JHA, let's say, and you don't need as much light, it'll dim down, and then if you look further out into the distance, automatically it'll change to a greater output, lumen output. This light here, the Swift, goes up to 900 lumens, so we're not talking about 30, 40 lumens anymore.
Right.
Our ultra compact lights are anywhere from 3 to 450 lumens. This one's 900. The top of the line headlamps that we sell are these duo headlamps. They're really cool face-to-face feature. So if we're working together, this is like 1100 lumens. So if we're working together and you're within 25 feet of me, there's a sensor in here, and it'll tell me, there's another duo headlamp in the vicinity. As soon as we turn and face each other, the lights will dim down. So I'm not going to blind you so that you can't see for the next 30 seconds. So really nice technology there, and always great to keep those guys working on the towers even if it's dark.
Yeah, definitely. That's all great information. And I guess if anyone has any questions about what we've talked about here, you can reach out to any of our gear experts. You can reach out to Petzl, and they can answer all that. They also have, like I mentioned yesterday, a wealth of information, tech tips, that sort of thing on their website. And we as well have a lot of video content, a lot of written content, PDFs in our knowledge base that cover a lot of these segments as well. So, Michelle, thanks again for joining us today.
Great being with
thanks
you.
for having us out here in Utah. And again, we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, talking about some tips and tricks for at Height work. So, thanks everyone.